Why did y'all get married?
That's the big question. And we love individual answers, just to be clear. Individual
no
answers.
No group activities here.
I would say that I got married. Well, I would say I said yes. I said yes because, to be honest, Shamir is the first guy I never wanted to. If I ever see him hurt, will hurt me. Let's say that. So, someone asked me one time. Actually, my brother asked me one time, "How do I know that like I was in love with Shamir?" And I said to him, because I would never want to do something to bring harm to him. He's honestly the first guy. If I ever did something to disappoint him or bring harm to him, it would hurt me. And that's how I knew, like, all right, I was really in true love, really in love this time. And that is definitely why I said yes.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's nice.
Shamir, what about you, man? What made you pop that question, boss? What made her be that one?
To be honest, what made me ask her to marry me, what made me know that she's the one, was just the fact that from the moment I saw her, it may sound cliche, but I knew I loved her immediately. I never seen her before. I didn't even know she had a man. I didn't know she was with somebody, but it was just like, yo, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? And just the way she made me feel, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with prior relationships and things like that. I know it was different immediately. People say that when they find a person they want to be with, and I felt it immediately. I never felt like this before. It was like, yo, what is this feeling? So it was a no-brainer for me to know that I was gonna marry her. The moment I saw her, I knew she had to be mine. So by the grace of the Almighty, we here years later, have her as my wife now.
That's dope. That's the thing most people don't understand, because if they don't really go through it, when you tell them stuff like that, they'll be like, oh, whatever. But it's true. There's a lot of truth to it. It's that weird emotion sometimes. I remember, actually, honest to God, in high school, I first met this young lady. It was parent teachers night on the third floor. I tell her this all the time. She tells me I'm lying. It was the third parent teachers night. I'm walking behind my mother, because I was in trouble, but I was walking behind my mother. And
I believe that part.
She was sitting on a desk. She was sitting at a desk outside of the classroom, because I think your mother was in the classroom. And I walked by her and she smiled at me. And I'm like, who the hell? I never saw her. I was like, who is this? Like, now, ever since that day, I remember the next day I was on the hunt to find her. I found who she was. And then we just became friends. But, at that moment, I knew something about her was different. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Those moments happen in life, man. Those moments happen.
I believe it. Y'all were only dating for a year before y'all got married?
Well, so let's give you the story. So we met in Rose. We're both from, born in Brooklyn. We lived in Queens. We're from Rosedale, Queens, and we met years ago. We met, I want to say 2003. I want to say, funny story, I was driving down Francis Lewis Boulevard. I was going to pick my mother from the hair salon in Brooklyn. I was stuck at a light, and something just said, Cassandra, look right. And I looked, and he was sitting in the car, and he told me to pull over. And I was like, no. And he was like, pull over. And then I pulled over. We exchanged numbers. And honestly, like you said, from the first time we spoke, it was just like such a strong connection. But we both had entanglements at that time. So we knew we couldn't be together. We knew, even though we kind of attempted to try to figure out how things were, but we wanted to respect, our entanglements at that time. So, we knew we tried to stay in contact, but it was hard because we had such a strong connection, so that when we did see each other, it was kind of like, it never left on like a good note. We always both left like feeling sad, like we know we're not supposed to be where we are. So, life went on. He moved to Florida. I stayed in Rosedale a little longer. And, it's so funny. I started a hair business, and I had already moved to Georgia, but I didn't transfer my job. And I was staying in Brooklyn at a friend while I was still working in New York. And I started a hair business. And one night at like 2 a.m, I was going down my contact list through my phone, because, Instagram shows you like who has Instagram in your phone book. and I was going through my contact. I didn't even remember that he was still in my contact list, and it showed that he had an Instagram. And so I requested him from my hair page. I was like, let me just in case he's still in his entanglement, the hair page, if he's still in, then, it's like a regular hair page coming through. And then I fell asleep. And the next morning, he accepted my friend request off the hair page, and we spoke. And he was like, "I'm single." And I was like, "Me too." And we literally was in a relationship from Instagram that day.
Oh,
like literally, yeah.
So let me break that.
Reach out. At least you reached out.
Right.
Exactly.
So let me tell you what happened even further. Well, let me start back from Rosedale. If you're from Rosedale to, I'm not sure if you know Francis Lewis. So on Francis Lewis, there was a Rite Aid across the street, and right across the street from the Rite Aid was a Chinese store.
Yeah,
right, it was a Chinese store. And I was parked up there, and the reason why was because I went to go check my boy. He was going through a hard time, and him saying they need some brain food. Let's put it like that. So I came to come check him, and I'm actually looking around to see if I see any police. You know what I'm saying? So when I turned my head, it was the stoplight to the actual Chinese store was cars backed up. So when I turned my head looking around, I seen her. I was like, "Yo, who the this?" Like, so I'm like, I said, "Yo, what's up?" She was like, "What's up?" So I'm like, "What's up?" And she was like, "What's up?" So I'm like, "Oh, she matching my energy." You know what I'm saying? So I came out the car. And I was like, "What's up?"
Well, you forgot the pull over part when I told you no first, but I told you.
Yeah, she said no, but I come out to the car. Then eventually, me and her start talking. You know what I'm saying? I got the number. Like she said, we was both in a little situation, so we couldn't really manifest nothing like that. Fast forward, prior to her hitting me up on Instagram, she was saying that her friend was telling her.
Yeah.
Her friend,
my friend, so I had just came back from a vacation, and me and my friend was kind of going through something, and we were walking in Brooklyn, and I was telling her about him literally, like, I think it was literally like a week prior. And I said to her, like, well, he had moved to Florida. And she was like, so you don't go see him? You fly for free. And I was like, I'm going to fly to Florida to go get my man. Literally a week before finding his Instagram. But I said it like on a joke. And then a week later, I come across his Instagram.
And the reason why she hit me was because
his grandfather had passed away.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I wasn't really using Instagram. Never used Instagram. Like, just had it because I was in IT. So seeing the different setup between the different social medias at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I went to my inbox. And normally, like I said, I always tell her his job. The reason why I even looked at my inbox because I was bored. It was late night, and when I went into it, it said I seen a hair business. And normally when people hit you up with hair businesses and stuff like that, you normally just delete it. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me just open it because I was bored. I actually opened the link inside the Instagram, and it was her. And I reached out to her, and that was it from then. We've been talking ever since. You know what I'm saying? That next
coincidences that happen.
I always tell her that, but I don't believe in coincidence because if the Almighty have a plan, it's for a reason. Yeah. Coincidence is a man-made word for occurrences that happen that man can't explain. You know what I mean? So I always tell her that. So I don't think it was a coincidence. It was meant to happen because I could have just deleted it, looked at it. Enough different situations could have manifested into that. You know what I'm saying?
At that time, I was getting off for work at 1:30 in the morning. I could have fell asleep.